October, the forests of Central Africa had become a battlefield. For years, the British Empire had searched for one man, a king, a warrior, a ghost. He had no palace anymore, no capital, no throne. Yet one of the greatest empires on earth continued hunting him, not because he ruled the largest kingdom, but because he refused to bow. His name was Omukama Kabalega. The British believed capturing him would end the resistance. They were only partly right, because some kings leave behind more than a kingdom. They leave behind an idea. Omukama Kabalega, the king who refused to surrender. Long before Kabalega became a legend, Bunyoro Kitara was already ancient. For centuries, it had dominated much of the Great Lakes region. Its influence stretched across fertile plains, dense forests, and vital trade routes. But kingdoms rarely remain at their peak forever. Internal struggles, rival kingdoms, and shifting alliances gradually weakened Bunyoro's influence. Many believed its greatest days were over. Then, a young prince appeared. Few imagined he would change everything. Kabalega was not born into an easy throne. Becoming Omukama required navigating political rivalries and earning support among influential leaders. From a young age, he learned that a kingdom survived through discipline, preparation, and decisive leadership. He trained with warriors, studied diplomacy, learned the land, the rivers, the forests, every path that crossed his kingdom. While others saw territory, Kabalega saw strategy. When Kabalega became Omukama, he refused to accept decline. He reorganized his army, strengthened regional administration, encouraged agriculture, protected trade routes, expanded iron production. Weapons became stronger, warriors became better trained, messengers moved quickly across the kingdom. Bunyoro began rising again. Neighboring kingdoms took notice. So did European explorers. At first, they came as explorers, then missionaries, then traders, finally officials carrying treaties, maps, and flags. Across Africa, European powers were claiming territory at a breathtaking pace. Many African rulers faced impossible decisions: negotiate, cooperate, or resist. Kabalega made his choice. Kabalega understood something many leaders recognized during this period. Foreign influence often brought profound political change. Control over land, trade, authority could shift dramatically. He believed Bunyoro's future should remain in Bunyoro's hands, so he refused. He would not surrender his kingdom. He would not rule under another flag. The British now faced a problem. One determined king, one determined kingdom, and no easy solution. The years that followed were filled with conflict. Rather than meeting the British in large, open battles, Kabalega's forces often relied on their knowledge of the terrain. Forests became hiding places, hills became watchtowers, supply routes became vulnerable. Every river crossing carried uncertainty. The British could occupy towns, but controlling the countryside proved far more difficult. Kabalega seemed to disappear, only to reappear somewhere else. Among colonial officers, his name became associated with a campaign that refused to end quickly. Years of resistance came at a heavy cost. Communities were displaced, resources became scarce, support networks weakened. Eventually, Kabalega was captured, not because his determination had disappeared, but because long conflicts rarely leave either side unchanged. His kingdom had fought for years against overwhelming military resources. His capture marked the end of one chapter, not the end of his story. The king who had ruled from a palace now lived far from home. No royal court, no throne, no army. Yet something remarkable happened. Even in exile, people continued speaking his name. Stories traveled farther than chains ever could. Empires rise, empires fall. Borders change, governments change. But courage has a way of surviving. Today, Kabalega is remembered not simply because he fought, but because he believed that leadership meant protecting the independence and dignity of his kingdom, even under extraordinary pressure. His story remains one of the defining chapters in Uganda's history. Kabalega's capture did not end Uganda's struggles. While one king resisted with weapons, another battle had already begun. Not on the battlefield, but inside the royal palace of Buganda. Catholics, Protestants, Muslims, and a kingdom on the edge of civil war. That story is next.